Hello and welcome to another episode of Sharing is Caring. My name is Klaus Meisel from Agile Get Together, and I have a very interesting guest today. It's Maria-Silvia Savulescu. She's an UX UI designer, and she will tell us something about career change. But before we start, welcome. Great to have you here, Silvia. And yeah, we are very excited what you can tell us. And maybe you start with a short introduction of yourself.
Hi, Klaus. It's great to be here. What I can tell you about me, I'm a UX designer based in Berlin. And last year I made a career change. I joined a bootcamp. And since it was such an interesting experience, I would like to share some details with you.
Yeah, great. Sounds very interesting. And I think some of the people in our community may be thinking about a career change. So we are excited what you can tell us.
Great. Then I prepared a small presentation as well. And let me share it. I think you can see my screen already.
Great. I can see it. Perfect.
Great. So it's like I said before, it's a career change with the help of bootcamp. This is me in the Brandenburger Tor in Berlin. I'm a UX designer. I wasn't always a UX designer. In 2021, I was still working as an architect. And as you can see, this is how I picture my work when I finished my studies in 2011. And this is how it looked in 2020-21. Nevertheless, I was investing a lot of passion and energy in projects, but my projects would take 2 to 5 years, a lot of logistics, moving parts. So along the way, I was missing the creativity and felt I was starting to address more the businesses than the end users. So when the coronavirus hit and the digital transformation was accelerated, I thought maybe in architecture and design, the processes would be also at the same pace, but it didn't happen. And in 2021, I entered my maternity leave. I spent a lot of time researching and documenting to say my new little project. And then I decided to transition careers to a new path. That was user design. User experience designer seemed to be an alternative career for many architects. So I searched courses, certifications. I was quite unsure how I would gather enough knowledge in a limited time frame to go to quite a different career, because it's not the same. Actually, it's visual, but it's another way of working.
So, but are there common things like things you could use from architecture in UX design, or is it completely different?
It's not really completely different, because I was in a point where I was also managing projects, so I would know how a project would be organized, how it would run, how to deliver presentations, speak to the clients. It was also full visual, not full visual, but mostly visual, just like design. So the end product would be also an image as well. But there are also other differences, like the agile framework, which is totally different as the architecture one. That takes in architecture, it's very linear, and in this agile framework, that's everything happens in different paces, and at the same time, you have design sprints. It's another way of thinking. and you also work on your projects. You can go back and work on the project, which would be impossible in architecture.
Yeah,
Once the
sure.
building is done, it's quite it's not seen as a good thing to
Yeah.
work on it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I thought, I have an account on many platforms offering courses, many academies, but what I heard was from a friend of a friend who changed career from architecture to UX design, and she joined the boot camp, and it apparently it helped her a lot on the process.
Okay.
Yeah, so I thought I heard of boot camps before. I didn't know what that meant at the time. I knew they were popular in IT, nevertheless, and I had limited free time. So I searched for a part-time remote boot camp that would help me have a portfolio of works and career guidance at the end. That was my goal. And I also had the remote option, which was from the comfort of my own home. And I thought that maybe I could multitask in the breaks. And it was also for working people who would have it after 6 o'clock, so after work, not only for somebody who's taking care of a child. And so I applied for the bootcamp. The process was quite easy applying. It followed an interview where I had an interview with a mission manager to ensure that I would be a good fit for the bootcamp. So she asked a few questions. I found it very useful because she described how the bootcamp would work as well, what technical skills would be helpful. For UX design, that would be Figma. She advised me to start a bit with Figma, even before the bootcamp. And then she also answered other questions about what the pre-work means and what the time frame would be. The next step was completing the pre-work, for which I had several weeks, and that I found it very intense, the pre-work, and I found that it introduced me in this new career, the new courses very well. It prepared me, but it also took a lot of resources, so it was not easy.
So you got a task already related to design something, or how can I
Yes,
imagine? Okay.
actually several tasks. I thought it was a task, but it was several tasks, and they also had links where I could read about this, and they had suggestions how I could solve this. Like, it wasn't so much pressure to do perfect, but to see how it works.
So you had a little help, but you had to decide how you can manage or how you can do it by yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I had to research for myself as well.
Okay, I see.
So then after I passed the pre-work phase, I felt quite proud of myself and the results a bit. That was then. Now, when I look back, it's, every beginning is like that. And then about how the structure of the boot camp, we had theory and applied practical seminars. During this time, we had 3 days after 6 and almost a full day Saturday, almost 7 hours, 8 hours with break. And
so the total time invest per week would then be about 15 to 20 hours, or?
So in the during the boot camp, we would have about 15 hours a week. but we'd also have to invest our individual study and after bootcamp work,
Okay.
because we had projects and that would simulate the real how it would be in real work life, and that meant we would meet with our teammates after work, and we'd discuss ideas or work more on the project, work on the presentation. It was quite our schedule was quite full, so even though I had 3 days, I worked seven
So
days.
nearly a full-time job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually a part-time, but full part-time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was and that's how I heard that boot camps are like this. And one of their what they told us at the beginning, they said, be careful, this is a boot camp. And yes, I understand now. It's a lot of work, and
So it's no holiday.
no, it's not a holiday. We had some breaks, some 3 weeks, but it was not a holiday.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, it was really exciting, and I really enjoyed it, even though the work was hard. And maybe I'll say a bit about the project. In total, we had 5 projects. One of them, the last one, was with a real client. We could pursue our client. Then they would the teacher's assistant and the teacher would get in touch with them, with the clients, and explain them what time we have and what we can do together.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, we have a project with the real client, which we found really helpful. And both the team and the client, we were really happy with the final result. This was this renewable energy dashboard. And of course, at the end, I had one of the conditions to pass was to have our portfolio up, and of course, finish all the projects and take care of attend a high percentage of classes.
Okay.
So it wasn't a joyride.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see.
What else I could say? Like, I could make a review, like pros and cons.
Yeah, sure.
Like what I liked is that it was guided in comparison with the self-paced courses, and we'd get a lot of feedback from colleagues and the teachers, and we had real design challenges that would simulate the real conditions. At the end, we had this portfolio. We were also offered career support after the boot camp, and I met a lot of interesting people with different backgrounds. I mean, the other students, they were really, I was amazed by their skills, I must say.
Mm-hmm.
And I really love the you can do it mentality, which we always talked about it, and we were encouraged to take steps. And what I would say, like, as cons, what would speak against that would be that it's really fast paced. So you need to make time in your life, or just to take a break from your social life and attend the boot camp. It requires a lot of time and work. It's quite expensive,
Mm-hmm.
and you need some prior knowledge. And it's not an internship, so you'll have to look for a job afterwards. In comparison to having an internship and learning online, then you have to start the process of looking for a new job. So and at the end, I received a certificate
Mm-hmm.
of completion as a UX designer. Um, Maybe I'd say a bit about my goal in 2020, and
Yeah, sure.
yeah, what I was planning to have a job as a UX designer. but actually it takes some time. The job search takes some time, so I'm considering taking small projects to gain experience in the meantime this year.
Yeah,
And
so maybe let's do a little advertising. If somebody out there is looking for an UX UI designer, they can find you on LinkedIn, I think, and yeah, you are open to a new challenge.
yeah, so that's my thank you for your time, and that's my portfolio. I'm passionate about coffee.
Yeah, cool. We can link this also in the comments. And maybe one last word. You had I thought you had a little more pros than cons. Does that mean you would recommend doing a boot camp for other people, yeah, who are planning to change career, or don't you?
Definitely. But it depends on the person. If a person is really organized and can keep up with the tutorials, then you don't really need a boot camp. But if you have another job, you have a lot on your mind, this a boot camp would keep you structured and look for a goal, and you can accumulate a lot of information in a short time. And of course, you have to find a way to finance this.
Okay. Yeah, great. Thanks a lot for this interesting insight in your career change and how you did it with a boot camp. And yeah, great that you managed to combine family and your change. I think that's great and can be an inspiration for people watching this. Of course, everyone who is watching, feel free to share your experience, your comments. Maybe some of you also had a career change, and you can share how you managed to do this, or yeah, give us feedback, ask questions, and yeah, Silvia, once again, thank you for joining and being our guest today.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was lovely talking about it and seeing you again.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.